Behind the charm, 7 signs someone isn't as good as they seem. It's easy to fall for the illusion of kindness. We all love meeting someone who smiles brightly, speaks kindly, and seems to make us feel good about ourselves. But what happens when that seemingly warm, friendly person starts showing signs of a darker nature? At some point, the cracks in their character will appear, and the charm that once seemed so inviting begins to lose its luster. Understanding how to spot someone who may not be as good as they seem can be an important skill for navigating relationships, whether in friendships, romantic partnerships, or the workplace. Beneath the surface-level niceness, there may be traits and behaviors that reveal their true character. Here's a deeper dive into the subtle signs someone isn't actually a good person, even if they seem to be on the surface. 1. They are consistently self-centered, even when they seem caring. We all know someone who can dominate a conversation, always steering it back to their own experiences, achievements, or problems. At first, you might think they are just passionate about their life and eager to share it with you. However, when this self-centeredness becomes a pattern, it's a sign that their interests lie primarily in themselves, rather than truly valuing others. Self-centered people often have an inflated sense of importance. While they may appear to listen, they may only be waiting for their turn to talk or subtly belittling your experiences to elevate their own. This kind of behavior is particularly noticeable in situations that require empathy, such as during a personal crisis or moment of vulnerability. If they turn your struggles into opportunities for self-promotion, it's a clear sign that their kindness is a facade. Deeper insight. A truly good person seeks balance in conversations. They are not only eager to share their own experiences, but also show a genuine interest in hearing about yours. They make the effort to understand and empathize with your feelings. When someone consistently prioritizes their own needs and perspectives, their niceness is likely motivated by self-interest. 2. They criticize others, even under the guise of humor. It's easy to brush off playful teasing or backhanded compliments, especially when they're delivered with a smile or lightheartedness. However, when a person frequently engages in this type of behavior, it's often a sign of insecurity or hidden malice. These playful criticisms are not only disrespectful, but they're also a way for someone to establish dominance or diminish others to make themselves feel better. The problem is that this behavior often goes unnoticed or unchallenged, especially if it is wrapped in a friendly demeanor. For example, a nice person might say something like, "You're so lucky. I could never get away with being as lazy as you are," or, "Wow, you're brave for wearing that. It takes a lot of confidence." Over time, these comments can chip away at your self-esteem and make you feel inferior, even though they are disguised as jokes. Deeper insight. A truly kind person celebrates the achievements and uniqueness of others. They will never tear someone down to build themselves up, even in jest. If you find yourself walking on eggshells around someone who masks their cruelty with humor, it's important to acknowledge that this is not the behavior of a good person, no matter how friendly they may seem on the surface. 3. They have a history of dishonesty or manipulation. While it's normal for people to occasionally tell a lie or exaggerate the truth, someone who is consistently dishonest, manipulative, or deceitful is not someone you can rely on. The nice person who manipulates others for their own gain is often a master of disguise. They may charm their way into your life, making you believe they are trustworthy, only to use information or situations to control or exploit you. The key to spotting this behavior lies in their consistency. If their words frequently contradict their actions, or if they tend to twist situations in their favor while making you feel like the villain, their niceness is likely a mask. Manipulative individuals often use guilt, flattery, or promises to manipulate others into doing what they want. Deeper insight. Integrity is the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship, and a good person will be honest with you, even when the truth is uncomfortable. If you notice that someone consistently manipulates situations or makes you feel uncomfortable in subtle ways, it's a sign that their good-natured appearance is simply a tactic to maintain control over you. 4. They disregard boundaries and pressure you into doing things you don't want to. Good people respect boundaries, both emotional and physical, and are understanding when someone sets limits. But the person who seems nice on the surface may frequently overstep those boundaries. They might pressure you into doing things you're uncomfortable with, trivialize your concerns, or dismiss your feelings when you try to express your discomfort. This behavior often occurs in relationships where one person is more dominant than the other. For instance, they might make constant demands on your time, belittle your need for personal space, or even push you into making decisions that don't align with your values. In a professional setting, they may try to take credit for your work or ask you to work beyond your capacity without regard for your well-being. Deeper insight. A truly kind person will always respect your personal space, whether it's emotional or physical. They will never pressure you into decisions you aren't comfortable with and will honor the boundaries you set. If someone makes you feel guilty or tries to manipulate you into doing something you don't want to do, their kindness is likely a thin veil for their self-serving behavior. 5. Their kindness feels conditional only when they want something. Have you ever noticed how someone can suddenly become your best friend when they need a favor, but after they've gotten what they want, their interest in you fades? This is a classic sign of a transactional relationship. While everyone occasionally helps others out of goodwill, a person who is only kind when they're expecting something in return is not a true friend or partner. These individuals will often shower you with compliments or attention when they need something, whether it's money, support, or simply a boost to their own ego. However, once they've achieved their goal, their behavior shifts and their affection wanes. This pattern can leave you feeling manipulated, as if your worth is only tied to your ability to meet their needs. Deeper insight. A genuinely kind person offers help and support without expecting anything in return. Their acts of kindness are not conditional or self-serving, but are rooted in a sincere desire to make the world around them better. If you find yourself in a relationship where kindness feels transactional, it's important to reassess the true nature of that connection. 6. They criticize and gossip behind people's backs. A person who genuinely respects and cares about others will never talk behind their backs in a derogatory manner. Unfortunately, the nice person can often be someone who excels in gossip, speaking negatively about others when they think no one is listening. They may act like your best friend to your face, but the moment your back is turned, they're quick to tear you down. This behavior stems from a lack of respect and empathy for others. It's a sign of someone who enjoys engaging in drama and conflict, or simply feels the need to make others look bad to feel better about themselves. Deeper insight. A good person will be consistent in how they treat others, regardless of whether they're present. If you find that someone who seems kind to you is constantly speaking negatively about others, it's a major red flag. True kindness involves lifting others up, not tearing them down in private conversations. 7. They are always the victim, never the perpetrator. Some people have mastered the art of playing the victim in every situation. They portray themselves as constantly misunderstood or wronged by others, regardless of the facts. A person who cannot take responsibility for their actions and consistently blames others for their troubles is not someone who is emotionally mature or honest. This behavior is often used as a manipulation tactic, making others feel guilty or responsible for the perpetrator's problems. It's also a sign of immaturity, as they avoid self-reflection and accountability for their actions. While a little complaining is normal, someone who cannot own up to their mistakes and instead blames others is showing a lack of growth and integrity. Deeper insight. A kind person will own their mistakes and seek to make amends. They understand that growth comes from taking responsibility for their actions, even when it's uncomfortable. If someone constantly plays the victim and never acknowledges their role in a situation, it's a warning sign that they may be manipulating you to avoid accountability. Conclusion: the importance of trusting your gut. At the end of the day, the most important thing to remember is that actions speak louder than words. People who are truly good at their core don't need to constantly prove it with charm or niceness. They act with kindness, respect, and integrity, even when there's nothing to gain. If you notice multiple signs that someone's behavior doesn't align with their surface-level kindness, trust your instincts. It's okay to distance yourself from people who don't treat you with the respect and kindness you deserve. A genuinely good person will make you feel safe, valued, and respected, not manipulated or drained. By learning to spot these signs, you can protect yourself from toxic relationships and focus on fostering connections with people who are truly good at heart.